Hi everybody, this is Joyce at Joyce Meyer Junk Journals. I've got another journal to show you today. I'm going to make sure you can see everything is in frame. So this journal was made for my friend Dina, whose mom died tragically last year, and I've been wanting to get her a book that she can journal in. So now I have it completed. I've used Carolyn's Musings, his Comforting Grace digitals that I found on Etsy, and this is a beautiful blue theme. I love blue, but I'm going to be, I know my last few videos have all had blue journals, but I'm gonna come out of that, don't worry. But this one is important to me as well as making it for someone else who's mourning, because I lost my mother in January, end of January. And so as I'm making this book, it took me extra time because it's personal for me too. So yeah, so I'm gonna just show you the cover. And this is just a little flower that I made out of some fabric and a little bit of lacy patterned fabric. This was dyed by me. I used Rit dye, a couple different colors to get this beautiful French blue. And then there's this netting behind and some buttons. This I just found thrifting. These flowers were really pretty, I thought. It says memories. This is a removable tassel. And I think while it was laying there, you saw the hearts. There are 3 hearts here. And there's one, and there's one. And there's just all kinds of things here in the tassel, all kinds of fibers and ribbon, mostly ribbons, and there's some pretty velvet blue ribbon. This is a vintage piece here, and just some eyelash trim. So I'll put that aside, and that just removes. I have on the front metal corners, and this is an old book. As you can kind of see, it's exposed there. This is seam binding. It has 3 signatures on this pretty fabric, and the back looks like this. So I'm gonna start flipping through. This is really beautiful paper, Carolyn. I mean, she does a really good job. I have several other digital kits that I'm ready to make journals of, and they are on Etsy. She has scriptures on all of hers and really pretty papers. This was a waterfall. There's scriptures here. My flesh and my heart faileth, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever, Romans 8:18. And I just stamped the backs of these, but you know, there's 6 scriptures, so you can journal on each page. Here is a tag. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, Philippians 4:13. Just tucks in there. Here's a bigger card. I love that metallic-y butterfly. And I stamped it, a note for you, and just stapled a piece of ribbon on there. This little tag comes out, and that's some tea dyed paper. You'll see tea and coffee dyed papers throughout here. He is my God and I trust him. His comforting grace. This is all going to go together. It's so pretty. And there's some other tags. Everything's inked. This is a little bag, and there's some paper to write on. There's a lot of places to write, Dina, so you'll be able to have some time with this book, and it'll work for you. This is from some wrapping that a Christmas tree was in, and I just colored it. This just says Coca-Cola, kind of something fun and light to lighten up the mood. And there are some butterflies. This little envelope came from the kit. There's just some pretty paper, and then I made a stamped border up here on this card. It says comfort. Little booklet with hearts out of a magazine. just cut out with a punch and stapled. Do you see the purple, bluish purple staples? This is a word beauty and a pretty button, and it's lined on the back for writing. And this here has another little heart. This is our favorite place. This is an envelope with this came from a dust jacket. We don't even read books anymore. Do we remember what a dust jacket is? Okay, that's an envelope that I found in things when I was cleaning out my mom's place. It has little roses on it. I did keep one other envelope like this for myself. And then over in the back here, if you flip it over, there's more things in the back. There's just some papers. I made this in the oven. It was that same Rit die. I had made a French blue journal for my daughter-in-law, and that's from when I made that. Here is a cute little belly band with a couple of things tucked down in. This is some of the paper that I dyed with tea. And then this little tag, and it all goes down in here. This is a cute little recipe, hummingbird cake, and it's just got a little piece of scrap in the back. Here we have some buttons. This is an envelope altered junk mail. So that's dyed. It's stamped. It says faith, hope, and love. And we recycle when we make journals. That says 100% recycled paper. Inside, it has that pretty design. And then there's this paper too. And that comes out just to write on a scrap. Child of God, this says. Love lives on. It's a little poem by someone. One day at a time. This has corners for a photo. This is somewhere if you have a white pen or a metallic pen, you can write on there. Gone but not forgotten, it says. This comes out. There's just some pages I'll flip through to write on. Dina, you can write everywhere. You can just paste things in here you want to. This I made outside in the sun with a nice stencil and tea. That was tea. I use those great big tea bags that you make sun tea. This was some vintage stationery that I folded into an envelope, and I just took a book apart. I think it was a notebook. Oop. Let me see, it's got to go in there. There's a front and a back, so you can put something in that part, and you can put something in the back. And there's also a spot here to stick something. Here's a tag that I cut in detail, so even the leaves kind of, you can see now. They make a silhouette. This is a clear envelope that she can put a keepsake in, something in there. These are just some silk flowers, and I sewed some buttons on, and I used up some of my paper. That's the lines are made from the oven rack. And there's just some more paper, and her mom was a people person, so I thought that was fitting to put in. Here is seam binding from what I was using for the tassel. It was called Treasure. There were other things in here that she can write on, other different odds and ends. Notes and to-dos, and I just inked it a little bit. Here's a cute little piece of the stationery that comes with the kit. When times are hard, he is near. Matthew 5:4, they will be comforted. Some paper that I folded sort of silly and just put a piece of index card with the blue. vintage, just a little bit of vintage feel on this filler paper. Here is a couple of brads on this pattern. And this is Galatians 7:9. Do not be angry. Yep, that's a good one. So many people angry over things that are out of their control. This is a beautiful color. I love that. And look at that. Stationery. I don't know, polka dots are cheerful. This is blue lobelia, and I embossed this and glued it together to make a little pocket. And it has, this is the curling ribbon that you put on a package. And I started realizing I have a lot of this, so why not use it in the junk journals? We have a mutual friend, me and Dina, and she always says, you got this. I love the sound of this paper, and that's a doily that left that pattern. Here's just a little fussy cut. I have a hard time letting this go, Dina. It's so cute. This says, sitting outside at dusk when the scent is at its strongest, memories of people and long ago days come back powerfully, making me sentimental, making me smile. This says, mother and wonderful. There's a beautiful charm there. Another envelope and a pocket here with a whole bunch of little papers. This says clothing sizes, shoulder to waist, inseam, dress size. This must have been for someone does alterations. There's all kinds of papers in here. It's fun. And then there's another little part here that you can get your papers out of there. Gift that keeps on giving. Every time you get this journal out, you're going to find something that you didn't know was there, Dina. And here are a couple tags that I dyed and I stamped with butterflies. They just go in that pocket. Little button, little bit of twine. This comes out. It is just a piece of music. I found a really fun scissors. This is a decal edge. I found that at the thrift store, and I was actually looking on Amazon for one, and then I found it. Where words fail, music speaks. Hans Christian Andersen. So I'm glad I found that scissors thrifting. Okay, that was good. Amazing Grace. We all know that song. Dina likes to ride her motorcycle, and this looks like the open road here. And there's a home, and this is part of that coloring page. This says favorite. Maybe she can write a favorite memory. I often use parchment paper under things that I dye and put it in the oven, so it's got a great crunch to it, and it looks pretty. Some more paper to write on. I just kept pulling out the different things that I found in my stash, and this is a nice feel as if it's cloth. There's an image I thought for the center of this signature, a greeting card that I have. Just keep flipping, a little note. And this has it's like a belly band, and I put it on top of this envelope. This is inside, this little piece of graph paper. And then this comes off, and then inside is a tag. But you, Lord, do not be far from me. You are my strength. Come quickly to help me. Psalm 22:19. And just an extra card. Some more of that stenciling. Little scraps from baking papers. I call them treasures because they are. More writing spaces and some little images. This actually has a little saying on it, oh life and love. She can read that when she gets it. And this is from a magazine on how to crochet, which I do not know how. And there's another piece too. Safely home. A lot of you, if you've had a family member pass away, you know that, or gone to a funeral, you'll know this saying, safely home. And that'll go behind. I dyed this cheesecloth and added some pretty buttons. Back here we have His Eye is on the Sparrow. It's a song. And just more paper to write on. This says compassion. It's a tag. They're all these things are inked. This comes off. It's a little tricky. But inside I have more of those photo corners for you to use, Dina. And here's some more of the papers that I've baked or put in the sun. He will wipe away every tear from your eyes. And this comes out and it's inked on the back. So it's lined here too with kind of the card that I made the pocket out of. And so I'm gonna put this back, I hope. It's very temperamental. So we shall see what happens. Sometimes it doesn't go on, sometimes it does. And I made a bead dangle on a real pretty brass paper clip. Here's the other side. And you know, she can put a picture in there. This is a drink that she came into a place where we get shakes in the morning, and she was drinking this energy drink. I said, can I have it? So I ran it through my embossing machine and made a little pocket with a gift bag and put a piece of paper in there for her. I cut this fabric out and then I stitched the edges while I was watching television one night, and they call it slow stitching. Put a little flower, and then this is some vellum with a pretty rose through it, and a little more of that crochet book. So there's a popcorn stitch, tells you how to do that. And I found this little flower, cut it out and put that in there. This is washi tape. I just glued it down with the, I think I used, trying to think if it was art glittered glue. And here's some scriptures for her, and she can write on the backs if she has anything to add. This, I think, yes, this comes out, so she can write on the back of there, or she can put another note in there. And this is from my mom's silverware. She had roses, and I just used some glittery blue glue stick, and I pressed the handle of the spoon in there, and then I used a little bronzing on top. And then here's a little card that she can write on, and more paper, and that's stenciled, but she can write on anything here. There's a little flip out from an old calendar and some more music. This I stamped with, actually this is stamped and this is stenciled. So there's a verse on that. The center of the second signature, "It Is Well With My Soul" by Horatio Spafford. I love this song. And there's a doily that flips up. I mean, it's coated with a little glue, so it's thicker. It's not as delicate that it won't tear. This card says fresh, and that comes off with this great big paper clip that I got from the Dollar General. Cut this out of a coloring book, and this is a song from an old hymnal, "Tell It to Jesus." Here's some more of that stencil, the alphabet. I love this. When I first started to talk to Dina about the book and how she wanted it to look, she told me she wanted an archway with blue flowers. And there's a little bench there. I forgot this page. It's more of that marbleized look. And this flips out. "Happiness blooms from within." This says God's Garden. It's a little poem to read. And I blew it up so that it's easier to read. And this is from Patterns. I just took that paper and flipped it around on the back, and she can write on that. "Joy Comes in the Morning." This is the very back. We're already to the back. This is Aida cloth from when you cross stitch. And here is a little round tag that I made. And I just stenciled that little design. This little fireflies. And she can write if she's got that white type of pen on the back, or a metallic, gold or silver. This says handmade by Joyce Meyer 2025. The last item here is this little pull down, little pleated page, and I stamped not alone. And then this just folds right back up and done. There we go. And that's all. Thank you for watching. Have a blessed day.